From KPRC2, this is Houston Newsmakers with Cambrell Marshall.
Good morning and welcome to Houston Newsmakers as we are hours away now from Election Day. How will you vote? Who will you vote for? There's plenty of options out there. To talk about some of them with the experts this morning, Dr. Mark Jones, Political Science Fellow at the Baker Institute for Public Policy at Rice University, and Dr. Kevin Stewart, Assistant Political Science Professor and Director of the Master in Public Policy program at the University of St. Thomas. Thank you both for being here. Really appreciate it. To start off with, let me ask you, what do you think is the most important race of this election cycle, and why? First with you, Dr. Jones.
Here in Harris County or overall?
Yes, in Harris County.
Here in Harris County, clearly county judge between incumbent Democrat Lena Hidalgo and Republican challenger Alexandra Del Moral Mueller.
And why?
One, it's for control of the largest county in the state, as well as a county that has more people than 26 states, because that's the county judge's chief executive. And assuming that Mueller wins along with Jack Cagle in Precinct 4, then Republicans will have a majority on Commissioner's Court.
Dr. Stewart, do you agree, or do you have a different opinion of that?
I can't disagree with any of that. I could only add that Houston, Texas is also probably our most diverse city in the state. And so this election is key to watch also because of what happens in various demographics, neighborhood types, income brackets, all the levels of the electorate.
And the poll in the Harris County judge race has been interesting. Let's talk about that for a second. From the Hobby School of Public Policy, it shows a challenger, Republican Alexandra Mueller, with a 2-point percentage lead over Judge Hidalgo. Dr. Jones, this poll has shown a trend from a summer. What are some of the nuggets about why voters have trended toward Mueller and away from Hidalgo?
Well, when you ask voters in the poll what are the most important issues for them in deciding who to vote for in the county judge race, two that pop up at the very top are crime and public safety and government corruption. And those are two issues that are bad for Hidalgo because crime is up on her watch, and she's viewed by many Harris County residents as being soft on crime. And that's the issue that most Harris County residents are concerned about, especially Latino voters. And then also government corruption is a major issue, and that's one where she, at least her assistants, have been indicted on the Elevate Strategies contract, and there's a high probability that she may be indicted in the future.
Dr. Stewart, talk about the challenges in general with polls and polling. I know Dr. Jones knows this as well, but sometimes over the years the reliability changes or has changed because of the way people respond to these polls. You've seen some of that difficulty as well, correct?
There's no doubt at this point that polling has gotten more difficult and more expensive to do well. That does not mean that some people aren't doing well. I think the Hobby School's polls are probably quite good. We'll know for sure on Tuesday. But I was just thinking the last time I did a poll, where it used to take 2 days, maybe 3 at most, to get the number of responses that you need, you have so few people willing to talk to pollsters that it's taking, when you look at the timestamps on these polls, it's taking 5 days, 7 days, 8 days to get the completes that they need.
Something that Dr. Jones just talked about was that the crime and public safety seems to be at the top of many people's minds at this point. A tremendous amount of advertising has been done, and that's really pushing that point. How much has money, and I'll talk with you first, Dr. Jones, how much do you think of money played a role in shaping the dialogue that we're all talking about now, as opposed to maybe what some of the real issues are?
Well, I think for many issues, for many voters, crime and public safety is a major issue. It's something they think about, but they do think about it more when they see ads and they see discussions about it, and their fear rises. So the ads have really helped Mueller, because we have to keep in mind, Harris County is a county where a Democrat starts off with a natural 8 to 10 point advantage these days. And so for a Republican to be slightly ahead or even in the race signifies that a lot has to be going wrong for Democrats. And one of the things that's gone wrong is that through a combination of reality, which is crime, and the perception that's been created by advertising and others, voters are really concerned about crime, and that's an issue that they give Democrats and Lena Hidalgo a low mark on.
Dr. Stewart, what do you think about the way Democrats have prioritized their mission? A lot of the ads we've seen, I know early on, they were talking about abortion as being a big deal that they wanted to push. And while it is a factor in some of the folk who are voting, it seems like the abortion issue is not rising to the top as much as Democrats would want it to give Hidalgo a better opportunity.
Yeah, all campaigns are a risk, and the risk the Democrats took on this one, the gamble they've taken, is to push all their chips to the center of the table behind abortion and election integrity. And as Dr. Jones said, the voters keep telling us over and over that their most prominent issues are crime, inflation, the border, and the economy. And so the message just is not connecting.
So let's talk about the state level for a moment, where the latest Hobby School poll indicates that Republicans will stay in control of, in some reliably very comfortably. In the governor's race, Hobby School says, Governor Abbott with a 13-point lead over Beto O'Rourke. For a Libertarian with 4% undecided, the Libertarian with 2%, 4% undecided. For Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, polling well ahead of Mike Collier by 15 percentage points, with 10% undecided. And in the Attorney General's race, with an Attorney General who's been under indictment or charged with criminal charges for years, he's still polling 12 points ahead of the Democrat with 11% undecided. This poll is validated, again, solidifies the fact that Democrats have a long way to go before they can put Democrat officers in their column. Correct, Dr. Stewart?
Yeah, this one's all about fundamentals. If I told you, 6 months ago that we were going to have a really tough economy, issues at the border, inflation, and crime worries, and that there would be one party that controlled the Congress and the White House, you would say that party's going to get blamed, and this election is not going to go well for them. And indeed, that is what we're seeing up and down the ballot, from the highest offices to the lowest, is voters are going to hold the Democratic Party accountable for these issues. It doesn't help that, again, as I said, they push their chips to the center of the table behind a message that does not address those issues.
Dr. Jones, we've watched through the years the tone of politics has become quite nasty. We've watched it evolve over the last 6 years particularly. What do you think is the reason? What do you think it's going to take to bring civility back?
The difficulty is, as long as the more, attack-oriented and less consensual type of politics work and give results to the politicians, we're unlikely to see a return to consensus. And in part because as polarization has grown, each party is divided into separate camps, and any politician who essentially strays from that orthodoxy, say goes towards the center, gets pilloried by the right if they're a Republican or by the left if they're a Democrat. You just look at someone like Kim Ogg here in Harris County, gets hit a lot from her left wing, and you look at somebody like Henry Cuellar down in District 28 as a Democrat, he gets hit from his left wing. I'm sorry, yeah, or he gets, sort of a George P. Bush or Joe Strauss gets hit from their right wing.
Mm-hmm. So there are those who point to the former president as the ignition point for a lot of what's going on in this tone, what's going on, and substantially the national electorate as well in key states, and for the entire country where concerns denying the 2020 election is concerned.